Anambra State government cautioned against indiscriminate waste disposal in markets. Air Force of Zimbabwe seeks technical assistance from Nigerian Air Force on research, others. And on the foreign scene, 25 Indian worshippers trapped inside well at Hindu temple. Before the news in details, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and welcome to ABS Evening News. My name is Chinyere Ikoreke. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has inaugurated members of the Anambra State Board of Internal Revenue Service. The board has Mr. Richard Madebo as chairman, Dr. Greg Ezeilo, Dr. Christian Madubuko, and Mr. Benjamin Okafor as executive directors representing Anambra South, North, and Central, respectively. Government House correspondent Valentin Baduga has details.
Other members of the board are the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Mrs. Chiamaka Nnake, Commissioner for Finance, Mr. Ifatu Onejeme, Commissioner for Lands, Professor Alphonse Amuchazi, and Commissioner for Transport, Mrs. Patricia Igwebike, performing the function at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia. Governor Soludo rolled out their terms of reference to include providing general policy guidelines regarding the functions of the State Internal Revenue Service and supervising implementation of such policies, ensuring the effective and optimum collection of all revenues, including levies and penalties due to the state government under the relevant federal and state laws. Governor Soludo said that the board will be accounting for all amounts so collected in a manner to be prescribed by the governor, controlling the management of the State Internal Revenue Service on matters of policy, subject to the provisions of any regulation setting up the State Internal Revenue Service, among others. The governor charged them to swing into action to meet the expectations, adding that the board will be reviewed every 3 months. Noting that Anambra cannot wait to have a sustainable development, Governor Soludo emphasized that the Board of Internal Revenue Service is critical to the agenda of achieving a livable and prosperous Anambra State.
I would like to hear from you, probably after your own meeting, to let me know what we must do to support you to succeed, so that whatever we receive from them will then go into our capital spending. That's the kind of thing we're expecting to happen, because that is what is going on in several states. Your IGR should be able to pay for your record. And those records, it might include debt service payment, plus personnel and all the other overheads and so on.
The Secretary to the State Government, Professor Solo Chukwulobelo, the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Ernest Ezajui, the MD of Operation Clean and Healthy Anambra, Mr. Celestine Anere, attended the event. From the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, Valentin Bada reporting for ABS News.
The Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Onyekachukwu Bezimu, has directed market leaders across the state to embrace government initiatives towards ensuring sustained cleanliness in various markets. The Deputy Governor, who is the Chairman, Clean and Green and Sustainable Anambra Executive Committee, gave the directive during a meeting with market leaders across the state at the Government House, Oka. Government House correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo reports.
Deputy Governor, who expressed dissatisfaction with the indifferent attitude towards the environment by traders in the state, who use wastes generated from their daily activities in the market to block waterways and other illegal dump sites, said that such attitude will no longer be tolerated by the present administration as it militates against the clean, green, sustained and prosperous Anambra target. Dr. Ibezim asked the market leaders to make laws to sustain culture of cleanliness in their various markets after the inauguration of Clean, Green and Sustainable Anambra project this weekend, as government will not take it lightly with any market leader that fails to partner it in the actualization of the target of being the most clean state.
Now the market leadership must ensure over the underlying Napoleon or Polian and Gotha. Farmer measure that time. No, we are strong on this. The governor says this is very, very serious.
On his part, the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Ernest Ezajoe, reminded the market leaders of the need to work with the state government, both in the cleanliness project and in payment of taxes, disclosing that the state government will come up with stiffer measures against tax and markets across the state from April.
You are part of this government. We charge you in your local environment, your local leadership, to do just what we are doing. And that is why we are very optimistic that Anambra.
In a remark, the chairman, Anambra State Fiscal Planning Board, Barrister Chike Madehwe, encouraged the market leaders to always partner the state government in development around the markets, noting that the state government, through its office, will not allow any form of illegal structures in the markets, other parts of the state. Speaking on behalf of others, the President General, Anambra State Markets Amalgamated Traders Association, Chief Humphrey Awuna, thanked the Soludo administration for its support to them and assured that the market leaders will work with the government to achieve its vision and plans for the state.
The second week of a month, we have to clean up. We have gone our data plan. We have been doing that. Phone and
The event provided the market leaders the opportunity to make suggestions and ask questions on how best to make the markets better.
Meanwhile, Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Onyeka Bezimu, has asked youth leaders in the state to form waste management task force in their various communities as a way to assist the Soludo government in actualizing the targeted most clean and healthy state. Deputy Governor Ibezimu gave the mandate during a meeting with youth leaders from across the state at the Government House, Awka. Again, Emmanuel Okonkwo tells us more.
Dr. Bezimu described the youths as the backbone of every society, said that the Professor Chukwuma Soludo administration will keep partnering them for all-round progress and development of the state. Deputy Governor Bezimu asked the youth leaders to devise means of ensuring that people in their communities imbibe the culture of cleanliness, even as he mandated them to monitor the activities of the incoming task force teams to avoid excesses and abuse of power. He called on the entire state's residents to see the achievement of the Clean, Green and Sustainable Anambra project as a collective responsibility, as it is for the good of all, stressing that a clean nation is a healthy nation.
So I know it will take us time to go back. And I am making all of us here disciples of clean, green, and sustainable Anambra.
In a remark, the president of Anambra State Association of Town Union Youth Wing, Comrade Ken Okoye, adjudged the Clean, Green and Sustainable Anambra initiative as a laudable one, assuring that leaders will work with other youths in their various communities to deliver and sustain the project, even as he pledged the unflinching support of the Anambra youths to the Professor Soludo's government.
It is part of our civic duty. We are not doing it for anybody. A clean environment is very habitable and is cool for everybody to live in. Everybody wants good thing, but you have to make a little sacrifice to make it happen.
During the meeting, the youth leaders, including that of Amansi community in Awka North local government area, Mr. Benedict Chinze, and his Nnewi North counterpart, Mr. Paul Moneke, made suggestions on how best to achieve the targeted results at the community level. From Government House in Awka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
Leadership of the Anambra State Road Traffic Management Agency has been called upon to monitor the activities of the officials on roads across the state to ensure strict adherence to mandates given to the agency by the state government. The president of the Anambra State Association of Town Unions, Barrister Titus Abudo, made the call while speaking to the journalists shortly after the union's meeting with the Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Onyeka Bezimu, at the Government House, Awka. We have details.
Barrister Akpudo, who complained bitterly on the excesses of some of the Anambra State Road Traffic Management Agency officials on the state's road, alleged that they sometimes intimidate and extort road users, an act he said brings bad name to the state government who instituted the agency to ensure free flow of traffic on the state roads. He appealed to the state government to allow the Anambra State Association of Town Union to form a committee that will help in monitoring the activities of the Anambra State Road Traffic Management Agency officials on the roads in the interest of the state's residents and the government. Barrister Akpudo commended Soludo-led administration for identifying Anambra State Association of Town Unions as one of the key partners in the efforts towards the actualization of the lofty vision for the state.
There should be a clear-cut directive on what they should do. The states need to monitor their activities. I also apply to the states. Let the state grant us the permission to also form a monitoring team, the team that will monitor the activities of these men on the road and give report to the state. People are complaining, people are crying.
On his part, the President General of Umunya Community, Chief Innocent Nwabweze, stressed the need for all Ndi Anambra to combine efforts with the Governor Soludo-led administration to make the state great.
When ABS News returns, Air Force of Zimbabwe seeks technical assistance from Nigerian Air Force on research. Others. On the foreign scene, 25 Indian worshippers trapped inside well at Hindu temple. Here is a special message again. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Stay with us.
A peak protein breakfast gets you up to a great day. How do I know? Because my daddy goes to his work feeling good and always with a smile. Mommy is always filled with confidence. My sister is always in tune. And for me, learning new things becomes absolute fun. That's because all day and every day, the peak goes on.
Start your day with a Peak Protect breakfast. Peak.
And if you're just joining us, you're watching ABS Evening News. The commander of the Air Force of Zimbabwe, AFZ, Air Marshal Alson Moyo, has expressed his country's desire to explore technical assistance by NAF in areas of research and development, unmanned aerial vehicle technology, as well as operation and maintenance of F-7 and Main-35 aircraft. Fumi Muyiwa said the identified areas for collaboration, according to Moyo, were of common and peculiar aviation interest to Zimbabwe and Nigeria, whose Air Force operates same or similar aircraft. Moyo, he added, commend NFA for its support to AFZ in the past, acknowledging the highly quality training given to the first batch of Zimbabwean pilots in the 1980s by NAF, which he said informed the decision by AFZ to seek improved synergy and collaboration with NAF with respect to capacity development. According to the Chief of Air Staff, CAS Air Marshal Oladayo Amao, NAF is ready to forge mutually benefiting partnership with AFZ. Amao repeated or reportedly made the remark while welcoming Moyo to NAF headquarters. The plans of raising 1,000 youth millionaire and creating 130,000 private sector jobs annually by the Soludo-led administration has continued to wax strong as the state, through the Ministry of Youth Development, conclude training of Entrepreneurship Development Institute in Oka. The Entrepreneurship Development Institute are those who will champion the entrepreneurial stage of one youth skill entrepreneurship scheme to ensure the purpose of an initiative is maximize. Valentin Mbaduga has details.
The two-day training was organized by the State Ministry of Youth Development in partnership with Unizik Business School. The training, which witnessed series of lectures and interactive sessions, climaxed with presentation of certificates to the Entrepreneurship Development Institutes who successfully complete the training by the Unizik Business School to affirm that they are qualified to carry out the task as expected. The State Commissioner for Youth Development, Mr. Patrick Ayamba, and the Deputy Director, Unizik Business School, Professor Chinedu Onyizugbe, who jointly performed the function, charged them to carry out their assignment with sense of responsibility, which they said is very critical in achieving the objective of the One Youth Two Skills initiative. They tasked them to make the Governor Soludo's agenda of creating 130,000 private sector jobs and 1,000 youth millionaires annually a reality.
If you look at methodology in carrying out plans in executing this agenda, you can bear with us that Mr. Governor meant the business of youth development. Mr. Governor is looking for not just providing jobs, but quality jobs.
On behalf of the university, having successfully completed the program, the 2-day workshop, we are giving them certificate of what? Participation. They can now go into the world and make our youth billionaires and millionaires.
Some of the participants, including Ekong Nancy of the Industrial Training Fund and the chairman, Nigerian Association of Small and Medium Enterprise, NASME, Mr. Chinemerem Ogwebe, assured to put in their best and thanked Governor Chukwuma Soludo for paying much attention on youth development and also the organizers of the training for doing a great job. They expressed hope that the One Youth Two Skills entrepreneurship scheme will transcend into a massive project that will redefine the economy of Anambra State and beyond.
We also want to thank the organizers of this program. It's been a very wonderful and impactful program.
In Awka, Valentine Bado reporting for ABS News.
On the foreign scene, police and emergency workers are trying to rescue up to 25 Indian devotees who were trapped inside a well after a flood caved in at a Hindu temple, an official and media report said. The flood, which doubled as a cover for the step well, an often large stair-lined communal water source, collapsed, sending worshippers plugging downwards at the temple in the central city of Indore. Television footage showed emergency workers using ropes and ladders to reach those trapped in the well in Madhya Pradesh state. Other videos showed the cave-in flood and manned steel bars and policemen using ropes to seal the area. Temples across India were brimming with devotees on the occasion of Ram Navami, the birthday of the Hindu deity Lord Ram. In sport, Nigeria international Alex Iwobi has lamented the bumping pitches the Super Eagles played on during home games, saying it has negatively affected the team. Josie Pesero boasts a star-studded squad with an average age of 25 years, and despite having Napoli Vito Shime, Samuel Chukwueze, Moses Simon, Joe Aribo, Wilfred Ndidi, among other stars in the rank, the Eagles failed to qualify for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar and were also beaten by lowly Guinea-Bissau at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja last Friday in one of their African Cup of Nations qualifiers. The 26-year-old, however, blamed poor pitches for the team's poor performances on home soil. The Everton midfielder added that they were still a young side and needed to learn. That's the size of our package tonight, but remember that you can follow ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television Awka. Subscribe to our YouTube at ABS Television Awka. Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. The main point again, Governor Soludo has inaugurated Board of Internal Revenue. Anambra State government has cautioned against indiscriminate waste disposal in markets. And on national matters, we told you Air Force of Zimbabwe is seeking technical assistance from Nigerian Air Force on research, others. On the foreign scene, 25 Indian worshippers have been trapped inside well at Hindu temple. Before we go, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Thanks for watching. My name is Chinyere Ikioreke. Good night.